Have you ever wanted to live in a real-life Stars Hollow? The cozy charm, community events, the quirky local shops? Then Pine Mountain, Georgia might just steal your heart. Today, we are going over the pros and cons of living in this charming small town. I am standing here today in the midst of downtown Pine Mountain, Georgia, just showing all of the things that make it so special. And stick around until the end because I will be sharing my favorite restaurant. And if you're a local, it might just surprise you. Let's get going. Hey y'all, and if it's your first time here, welcome to Cooking Up Real Estate. My name is Stacy Roberts, aka This Realtor Cooks, and I'm here to help you discover all things Harris County, Georgia. My son and I moved to this area just last year, so I'm going to be sharing with you firsthand what it's really like to move to the central western part of Georgia. And whether you're moving your family or your business, I'd love to help. You'll find all my contact information in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you'll always be in the loop of all things Harris County, Georgia. All right, it's time to find out if that real life Stars Hollow, aka Pine Mountain, Georgia, is really for you. So, in just a few minutes, we're going to get into the pros and cons of living in this cozy, southern, charming town. But let's talk about it a little bit. So, it is located just north of Columbus, Georgia. I'm going to show it here on the map. It is part of Harris County, Georgia, which is my real estate focus that you'll be hearing about on this channel. And Pine Mountain is also going to be the home to Callaway Gardens. So that may kind of ring a bell of where we're talking about. So what is Pine Mountain known for? What's it like? Well, it's got a lot of southern charm. It is the first town you're going to pull through when you're coming in from the north, like from Atlanta area. When I first came by it, I was just like, this is so cute and sweet. And it reminded me of Stars Hollow from the Gilmore Girls. And yeah, so it's got a lot of southern charm. It's got sweet little local shops. If you like to go into little antique markets and things like that, you would notice that there too. It's the perfect mix of outdoor beauty and tight-knit community. It's a town where you're going to have a slower pace of life. So yeah, that is Pine Mountain, Georgia in a nutshell. But we are going to get into the pros and cons of the area just to make sure that you know the reality of living here and whether or not it's going to be the right move for you. So without further ado, here we go, getting into the pros. All right, pro number one, small town charm. So if you couldn't tell already from the intro, this place is full of it. We're talking a place where everybody knows everybody and everybody knows your name. And if you are somebody who really values a community, this is definitely a good spot for you. As I mentioned, you've already got a lot of small businesses and fun little shops that are owned by the locals. There's a lot of history in the town. It used to be known as Chipleys from the Chipley family that I believe founded the town. And if you walk around to the shops, like I went, my husband and I just got married not long ago, and I went to the local Wells Fargo branch. We're trying to figure out which bank we want to go with to bring together our finances. And so we're like, well, we'll check this out. It is a local branch, so we'll see. And that was kind of my concern is it is a big name, but the branch itself, that Wells Fargo location, the girls in there are so awesome, so friendly, so helpful, like welcomed me into the town, just awesome. So that's just the bank. So let alone all of the little shop owners and restaurant owners. And there's a cool bike shop there because there's lots of biking paths around. So people are just out and about and active. It also has some sweet little community events. Around Christmas, they have a tree lighting ceremony and they'll have little farmers markets and festivals. And I've seen where like I believe it's the Purple Hat Ladies, isn't that what it's known as? Are out having little luncheons in the town. It's really sweet. Really small town charm. There's a place, oh my goodness, called Eddie Mae's when you pull into town. And she has this southern buffet that is so good. Her fried chicken, her collard greens, all of it is so good. And it's just like it's been there forever. And you just feel like you're part of the family when you walk in the door. So it definitely has that benefit of that small town charm. All right, pro number two. It is home to Callaway Gardens. Callaway Gardens is awesome. If you've never been, it's a golf course, it's a resort, it's a garden and a park. You can go in and you can see just the beautiful nature and flowers and scenery there. You can go golfing, you can go ropes course. There's a lot of recreational activities. They have summer camps there. They have a sweet chapel where my husband and I got married, and many other places on the grounds where you can get married. Restaurants, really good restaurants. There's one called Casey's Tap Room that is so good, and a really cool little lunch spot over on the golf course, and just a lot of cool things. There's also a little lake. They call it the beach. So during the summer, you can take your kids out there. There's a fountain that keeps the water moving in there, and they have this cool obstacle course out there. So that's just part of what they offer. They also have actually a live on community, which we're going to talk specifically about that in another video. But you can live on Callaway Gardens, which is really cool. A lot of people don't know that. But it also has, if you've ever heard of it, the Festival of Lights. So it is in around Christmas time. It starts in, I believe, November and it runs through January. And they have just this really sweet light show that you can drive through, and you can get on an open air trolley, or you can take your car through, and all that kind of stuff. There's a funny story in our family, where our nephew was he was riding on it, and when you're riding on it, there's this narration happening, and it's named Snowball. I believe it's Snowball. I feel like we've messed it up in the family, so it may not actually be Snowball. But in the story, our nephew, when he was young, called it Snowball. I was not around for this, so this is a story I've heard repeated, and it's just so sweet. And he's narrating the whole thing, and all of a sudden he goes, "Wow, Snowball sure knows a lot." He was like, I mean, he was a little kid, so people all were laughing, and it's just a funny story. So we always laugh about that when we go. But yeah, it is just it's got events not just at Christmas, but they have a Halloween that they do now with these pumpkins and lights and activities you can go to. They have things throughout the spring and the summer, plant sales, all kinds of really cool stuff. So Callaway is definitely a pro of living here. You can get a membership for a pretty decent price. You can go throughout the summer. Oh, and how did I forget? Our favorite place inside of Callaway, aside from the chapel we got married, is the butterfly gardens. They're so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I could probably just fill the whole rest of the video with butterfly footage of times that we've gone. And in the winter, it's really nice because it's a little chilly out and you can go in and it's a tropical environment for them. And there's beautiful plants in there that are all alive while everything else is dead. And there's just butterflies throughout the entire year. They get shipments in. So you can walk in and you'll see like where the larvae are and things like that. The pupae, isn't that the part of the life cycle? I should know all of it because we've learned it every time we go. But yeah, Callaway Gardens is definitely a huge pro of living in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Hey, pro number 3, proximity to nature. You've got FDR State Park. You have horseback riding that you can do through there, which is really cool. You've got just walking out your door. You're going to have bird watching. You're going to have squirrel watching. You're going to have deer. You're going to have all of the wildlife just right out of your door. And there's just nature everywhere. It's really beautiful. It feels like untouched land. A lot of farmland that you can drive by when you're on drives. It's just gorgeous. The most beautiful sunrises and sunsets. And then you also have a lot of camping and hiking and biking. So if you're an outdoors person, you've got a lot of that you can do. There is a trail called the Manowar Trail, and it runs through Harris County, but Pine Mountain has some stops in it. You've got the Chipley Bike shop, so you can go get everything tweaked up and purchase and whatever you need and hop right on the trail. I mean, it's like the shop is here, and you can get on the trail here, and then you ride down a little bit, and you've got the Callaway beaches right there that you can overlook, and then you go on and over. It's really cool. So there's biking trails there. There's biking trails at FDR State Park. There's hiking trails everywhere, overlooks. It's just awesome. So if you enjoy being out in nature and having that serene, peaceful environment, Pine Mountain, Georgia definitely has that pro. All right, pro number 4, charming downtown and local shops in Pine Mountain, Georgia. When I first drove through town, like I mentioned, it is the first stop coming in from Atlanta, which I moved from Atlanta to Harris County to Hamilton, Georgia, which is the town just over, about a year ago. But as you're coming into town, you drive through Pine Mountain, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to stop and shop. It's so cute. If you're anything like me and my family, we love to just go to all the little southern towns and just piddle. Isn't that the word? You piddle through, just walking and kind of window shopping and seeing what kind of fun little things you can find, gifts and gadgets and things. So you have a lot of that in Pine Mountain. Antique shops. There's one called the Cat's Meow, which is so cute. There's this orange cat that's in there all the time, and there's a lot of cat themed paraphernalia in there. But it's also southern like ornaments of like the stadiums. I got one for my dad for Christmas in there, socks, and I mean, I'm just naming some random things I remember because there was a lot of cute things in that shop. But uh, those are kind of the quirky, sweet little shops that you're going to find in the downtown Pine Mountain area, as well as if you know, you know, I love to eat as well as cook. A lot of great restaurants. I had mentioned Eddie Mae's in another one of the pros, but I have not mentioned what the favorite restaurant of mine is. It's a recent find of mine, and it might be a bit of a surprise if you're local, because there's a lot of good ones to choose from. But I'm going to get to that at the very end of the video. So, lots of local shops, lots of yummy restaurants. It's a great little weekend stroll spot. So, you've got that sweet downtown area, and that is definitely a pro of living in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Okay, pro number 5, slower pace of life in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Yes, if you are moving from a city or a town where there's just a lot going on and you're ready to just slow it down, this is definitely the place for you. It's got that southern charm, like I said. Things aren't on a hurried schedule. In fact, on Wednesdays, they close most of the shops and restaurants and things like that down by noon. It's a slower pace of life, and if you're looking for that, you know, and it goes back to pretty much all the other pros, right? You've got that sweet, just southern charm, local shops, you've got the nature. It's definitely going to be a pro for you if you decide to move to Pine Mountain, Georgia. Okay, so we know, just as anything else in life, not everything is all good, right? You've got some things that are a bit of a downside, and I guess too, some downsides are upsides, and upsides are downsides, depending on who you are and what is your preference. So, with that in mind, we are going to move into the cons of living in Pine Mountain, Georgia. And con number 1 is going to be fewer job opportunities. If you've also seen my Hamilton, Georgia video, you know that that is a similar theme there, and mainly just because of the location and what is available in the actual town. So, as I mentioned, there's lots of local shops and there are restaurants. So, if you work in that industry, you may be in luck. And you do have the opportunity with Callaway Gardens as well, that there may be some job opportunities there, but it's not going to be like a metro. You may end up having to commute. And I'm just going to kind of pop the map up here so you can see what a commute might look like. So, if you are here in Pine Mountain, Georgia, and your job is located out of Columbus, a lot of people work out of Columbus. You can see here we go down, and it's about a 30 to 40-minute drive. Or possibly you are going to work in LaGrange, and that's going to be up, and it's going to be about a 25 to 30-minute drive over there. We also have a lot of military in this area, which is so awesome. Thank you so much for your service. I once was a military wife myself, so I understand the sacrifice involved. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We do have Fort Benning, which is about 45 minutes from Pine Mountain here. So it is drivable, but you may have to commute to your job because there's likely going to be fewer opportunities for you here in town, unless you're opening up a business or things like that. Atlanta is also possibly an option for a commute. So the southern part of Atlanta is about an hour north of here, and then an hour and a half to the north part of Atlanta from Pine Mountain, Georgia. So it is possibly commutable. And then we've got Auburn, Alabama, not too far from here as well. So there may be some job opportunities there. So there's a lot of commutable cities, but you just may not find that your job opportunity is here in town, and you may have to commute a little bit. Con number 2 would be fewer big city amenities. So while you have a lot of cute shops and you have a lot of restaurants, you are not going to find the big box stores in Pine Mountain. You're not going to find large entertainment venues. So if you're looking for things like that, you will have to drive, similar to what I said about commuting for a job. You would probably need to get into Columbus, LaGrange, Auburn, or Atlanta, which are all somewhere within an hour-ish time frame from Pine Mountain, Georgia. And I will say that as a local Harris County resident, it's similar in the town that I live in. And I will say it touches me the most not having those amenities nearby. But the good news is things like Instacart, Amazon delivery, and all of that is available in most addresses. So you may be able to find that you can make your life a little more convenient. And I'm going to turn this con a little bit into a pro because Pine Mountain does have a grocery store. It's not a large grocery store chain like a Kroger or a Publix. It's a smaller supermarket and it has kind of your necessities. So you do have that available to you, and a small pharmacy in town, which is sweet, but you aren't going to have the big city, big box stores, nor big venues, things like that in Pine Mountain, Georgia. All right, con number 3. Now, this one is temporary. That's the good news. It is seasonal traffic. Because of the wonderful Callaway Gardens, you will find that during those big light events or any kind of the seasonal events that occur in Pine Mountain, especially at Christmas, mainly at Christmas, the traffic lights can get way backed up with all of the folks coming into town for that. There's a lot of summer activity out there as well, so you just may have to keep an eye out on what season it is and maybe taking a different route around the downtown area of Pine Mountain where you're hitting all those lights headed into Callaway Gardens. So you may see that as well as a con here in Pine Mountain, Georgia. I hope this gave you a clear picture of what it's really like to live in Pine Mountain, Georgia. The good and the not so good. And whether you are making a move now or in the future, I would love to get in contact with you. You can reach out to me. All of my contact information is in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can keep finding out all the good information about this sweet, charming area of Harris County, Georgia. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, y'all, here it is. My favorite hidden gem in Pine Mountain, the Whistling Pig. From the outside, it's totally unassuming, but step inside and it's cozy, cute, and full of rustic charm. The hours are limited, so plan ahead, but the fried green tomatoes, crispy, tangy, and hands down the best I've had in Georgia.